Congratulations with the documentary.
Thank you, Lianne.
I was so lucky to be there at the premiere yesterday.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, what an amazing response of the audience, right?
I'm still sort of processing it. It really was a powerful night for all of us.
So what went through your mind? Because you were a little bit emotional.
Oh, it's an emotional thing anyway to be at Cannes. It's an emotional thing to be at Cannes after COVID and to be watching any movie on the big screen. But something that we put so much, and a movie that we were making during COVID, kind of underground, like hunkering down in the bunker, you know, to now have it come out in this monumental, you know, place and in that theater, and the sound, let alone how beautiful it looked on the screen, but the way the sound filled that room, you know, it was a moving and powerful experience, and the audience's reaction was really something else.
Yeah, because I think it started with Venus in Firms, like a very strong song.
Yeah.
Which you might expect a little bit, okay, so this is a rock and roll documentary.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah.
Can you tell me why you choose to go into a little bit of another direction?
I really wanted to pay close attention to the strange way that these people found each other. The unexpected, almost miracle of the fact that such people from different places could, and with different musical interests and backgrounds, like John Cale's quite different from Lou Reed's, obviously, and how that was sort of being fueled by the cultural landscape around them, but again in very different ways. But that all of these things were possible in the 1960s. And in New York in particular, it was a kind of place of concentration that not even that many people, a handful of people, all coalesced and all commingled. And the factory was one of those sites of that kind of concentration. And so it's just one unique, unexpected condition on top of the next. We wanted to take an audience through that and watch how these ideas were traveling, you know, and moving towards something very, very definitive, and something that we all know quite well now, but how it came into being is really the mystery.
Yeah. So could you say, because I think you are an art student yourself, and as a young gay guy, I think.
I went to a liberal arts college, but I did a lot of art while I was there.
But were you especially influenced by the Velvet Underground growing up in your youth?
I was, but I didn't hear I don't think I was turned on to the Velvet Underground until college, but it felt like immediately in college. And it's funny how those things that you encounter when you're young and you're very receptive, right? You know, you almost see them in your periphery. And sometimes you see them and you go, I'm not ready for that yet. You almost put it into a slot that you then are prepared for it. I felt that way about David Bowie. Like when I first saw those records when I was in junior high, that androgyny was disquieting, was disturbing to me. But I kind of knew that that was going to be a place I would land, and it would mean the world to me, but I needed to be ready for it, you know? And that kind of happened with the Velvet Underground, who it would turn out would be at the core of all of this other music that I was listening to and loving.
Interesting. Do you think that also means for the world maybe that they didn't sell so many records, so maybe the world wasn't ready for it then?
Yeah.
I actually bought the record, I think, 2 years ago, which is also very late, maybe.
Sure.
So why do you think it still appeals to so many people now?
Well, one thing is that it was just excellent art. You know, it all came together. And things like that are enduring in a way that defy their time and their moment and the market and all of those other considerations. But I do think its themes, its sounds, its sort of pessimism, its a sense of danger, a sense of the unknown a mystery almost that it evokes, was something that the happy 1960s wasn't entirely ready for at the time. And yet there was extraordinary stuff going on in the 1960s. I mean, the Velvet Underground, you know, in the factory, you have a Beatles record sitting up on the mantle. You know, people were digging the Rolling Stones. People were digging. Bob Dylan was such an influence that you had to kind of, everyone was very aware of him, but then they were saying, oh, we don't want to do that. We want to do something our own way, you know? Whereas Nico was like, I want to sound like Bob Dylan, you know? So there was all of this amazing inspiration around you to pull from, and then also to say, no, I want to do something a little different.
Yeah, is that...
Last question.
Oh, is that also the reason why you chose to show the hippies on the West Coast
Yeah.
and more pessimistic black clothes from the East Side?
Well, yeah, I mean, that was all true. That was very much a sort of delineation of the attitudes and the sort of zeitgeist that was quite different. Like, we all think of the, you know, counterculture of the 60s as being a monolith, and it was anything but that. It was very, very stratified, very, very different. And New York was this, I think, more queer, more camp, more pop, more dark, you know, vision of the future. And ultimately, I think that's the vision that won out.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!